See how stiff she is? Oh yeah, she's definitely stiff. Ooh. Yeah, but she's turning, at least, which is something. Yeah, obviously that belt's going to be a little bit loose, but let's see if we can get her to really spin without breaking my fingers off. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I imagine if I take that belt off, she'll spin a lot freer than that. So that's a good sign. All right, one of the biggest challenges with trying to get this boat. Sometimes you gotta give it a little extra help. That last little bit. Always nice if you've got decent tools to work with. You get it out. But if you don't, you're going to struggle. Your boat's been sat for a long time. There you are. What a pain. Let's get this crescent wrench on there and see if we can't just shock it. Shock it loose once. Just taking this locking nut off first before I start doing all the kind of messing around with getting heat on it. Let's see if I can lock, just shock it. Let's try hitting it again. I don't suspect it's going to be that easy. I think it's going to give us hell. And with this boat being on a sketchy platform, I don't want to struggle too much out here. Give it a good shock. Get the top. So we got this off. Can back this away, and we just need to grab this bad boy off here with a pulley extractor, and hopefully that will solve that. I've got this dust mask on because there's all kinds of crazy dust in here, and I'm super asthmatic. So down here, cozied up here with the Westerbeek, and today we're going to try to take it off the valve cover. Get the belt loose. Push this forward. Push that alternator way up in there. Yeah, that's it. There we go. Belt's off. Okay, so we took off the exhaust, and now we're coming in to the port side so we can go ahead and take off the alternator and any of the other rest of the cooling system that's full of barnacles. And it's quite interesting because you can see the Japsco marine water pump and all the plumbing. I'm so tempted to start playing with the plumbing and fill up this tank and start going at it, but I need to really focus on getting this engine out. Again, this is the major task for the day, just to get this bad boy out, and then we'll be one step closer to pulling the whole engine out. Just broke torque on these head bolts here. What you're listening for is that pop to let you know that you broke torque. Well, I think it's time to call it quits for today. So far, we've loosened the head bolts. As you can see, there's some buildup around the springs that looks like a bit of mixture of coolant and oil or water. So I don't know if the head gasket was blown or not, but one way or the other, the head is coming off, which I'm excited about. Got a little bit of drip coming down the bell housing. So we're just gonna keep things clean. And what I'll do now is go ahead and drain the coolant reservoir, which I suspect is going through the head because it's leaking. And then I'll take off as much as I can without having to remove the governor and the diesel pump. There's one bolt on the port side that we struggled to get off with the heat exchanger manifold, because you have to, it's either designed for it to be with the bell housing off or the head off. So I'll lift the head up and then take that bolt off and then remove the heat exchanger and bring the whole thing out. But that's enough for today. Well, the head is off. I just temporarily put the valve cover on to cover up the rockers and the springs. I'm gonna get them in the house as soon as I can, just to sort of start getting everything set up for the engine stand. This is the state of the block. You can obviously see where the water jackets were. There was clearly going to be barnacles all throughout that process there. So yeah, definitely. There's water in that piston bore because when he took the head off, there was still some residual antifreeze in there, which I have to get out quickly. But yeah, I'm definitely going to look at the piston rings and try to hone out the bore a little bit to make sure that the cylinder walls are good. I mean, you can get replacements, but I just don't have the cash for that right now. We just want to do a simple therapeutic bit of rescue job. May end up replacing the block eventually. All right, so looking at it now, I think what I'm going to do is try and remove the engine in two pieces, because it's too much backache to mess around trying to get it through. I'm going to take out the raw water filter. These blocks were mounts for the Holden tank, so they're irrelevant. I'll get the angle grinder on them. I just think that that's going to be too much difficulty trying to maneuver it out, unless I take the bulkhead out back here. So anyway, remove the bolts for the bell housing, drop that back, put a jack underneath the block, keep the sump on, and just support that, and then lift the whole block out as one piece, and the transmission is one piece. As you can see, the water pump and the thermostat housing completely caked in barnacles. Can't see there being any joy in that. May have to just get a whole new water pump because, I mean, I don't know if I would trust that with not overheating the engine, but they're like $289, so I'm gonna hit it with Barnacle Buster, soak all of it in Barnacle Buster and see what can be salvaged. If not, then it's gonna have to go and get a new one. It's bucketing down outside, and I'm removing these motor mounts one by one. Boat shaking on the trailer, not a comfortable feeling, but I don't want to adjust these motor mounts because I don't know if they're going to line up when I put them back. So they've got spacers and shims and all kinds of stuff. Gonna have to just redo it all. All right, folks, engine mounts are loose. Everything is ready to slide forward. The plan is just to use a couple pieces of laminate and that floor jack that's in the back there. So yeah, gonna try and slide her forward. All the motor mounts are loose. I've kept the mounts exactly at the height so I can put it back in at exactly the same height to line up the prop shaft. Yeah, I've got a couple planks of laminate, solid piece of wood, just gonna hopefully just slide her forward. And this is gonna be her home until I can take the bell housing off and just start to slowly dismantle her, because I'm not into that whole cranking her out thing with the pulleys and all that. That's just too much headache right now. Here we go. little bit higher. Almost there. She's nearly out. Just gonna have to get 2x4s underneath her. Thought I could get away with just a jack, and I've got a little mini jack on the back, but because we're on a slope, not only is the engine angled, I think 45 degrees or 30 degrees, but the boat itself is angled at probably about 10 to 12 degrees. So too much weight going back towards going aft. So I'm gonna have to mitigate that leverage by getting 2x4s underneath her and slide her straight forward. Now alternator's being a little and won't come off, but I imagine I'll tap that bolt out of there. I just didn't want it to fall down in the bilge, because you know what it is. It's one of those bolts where if you look at it, it's set up so that when you're at sea, right, you don't have to worry about that moving. You just have to put the locking nut on the back of it and tap that out. So that's awesome, you know, but it's just one of them where experience and age tells you quit while you're ahead. And I'm ahead right now. You can see the mount bolts are resting on the sled here. Those are completely off. That's coming forward. So I just don't want to get it to the point where I have no more leverage, where I can't get 2x4s under. But anyway, thanks for listening. Here we go. One of the things that's really important also to consider is making sure that your push rods go back in the same position that they were in, because this could, I mean, obviously with the cam being older, the lobes do have wear, and sometimes that can change the balance in the push rods. So I've got them going from forward to aft. I can't wait to get some polish, some Brazo on this thing here. Raw water intake filter. Oh, it looks so horrible. I mean, the patina's cool, but not really when it's that patina. All right. This is going to be the plan. We're going to make a little bit of a sled. I'm going to push her from behind. I've got the jack stand underneath her. Just need to clear the oil tank and the oil filler spout, and I think I can slide her forward. I just want to take my time and not get stuck once I get her on the boards. It's going to be smooth sailing from there. Just need to get something laid down to catch her when she gets over here. Sweating like a pig already. It's 80 degrees outside and the hornets are back already.
Another day pulls me down to my knees and holds the gun to my fucking head. Can't feel a thing. Weird position, pulling my life about to mock. Oh God, I'm speaking in swirling walls, and now the walls are letting in silence, spiraling down to the floor. Can't feel a thing. My condition eating me down to the core. When will it end? When is it over? And when can I live? The bar is still down on my throat. Kicking and screaming, I live this life down in a hole. Down in a hole. Take away misery tomorrow. Shine the light in this steaming glow.
And there she is, folks. The Westerbeek 30B diesel. She is officially out of the nest. And yeah, that was fun. You have to get shiesty sometimes. Now the question is, do we try and do a rebuild? Do we set up the galley as a makeshift kitchen? Did some damage bringing her out. Again, being hasty. Didn't really think about the fact that, okay, this engine came in here somehow. So if you look, you'll see that these should have been unscrewed. And this could have come out, which would have made her a hell of a lot easier. You know, it's just like, say, when you're on your own and there's only one brain going and you've been working since 3 a.m. in the morning, and you come out here in the heat and you just think, all right, let's just get it done. Let's keep the momentum going, because if you start to fall back and make excuses for not putting a day's work in, every day you've got to do something. Otherwise, it just won't ever get done. So, you know, I'm pleased that she's out. I've learned that there's some tricks that when she goes back in, right, so we're taking off the actual oil pan. As you can see, these bolts are really coming loose easily. Basically, I'm a one-man band, so I've got to find a way to get this bad boy out by myself. So I've got this oil pan out, catching all the residue oil that was in the pan going through the block. So the plan is to take the pistons out and the crank out. Hopefully that'll loosen up some of the weight, and then just huff it out over the side of the boat. Right, so we got all the bolts off from the oil pan. Let's see what it looks like when we take it off. All right, this is going to be a bit of a thingy. Better get a flathead on it. Can't find a flathead, so what I'm going to do is just tap on it. That should loosen it. So just break the seal on that gasket is there, and it should come right up. There it is. Yeah. Alrighty. So let's see what we've got. Oh, yeah. Ooh, still got a little bit of oil. So I don't want to get that everywhere because that's made quite a mess today. Set this off to the side. Trolley. Now we've exposed the block, so we've got the crank there and all of the pistons. So basically the next step is to take all that off. Just like the sump is still in good condition here. This is actually pretty badass, and this would have needed to be done anyway because, like I say, this engine took on water, and who knows what condition was going on down here. You know, while you've got the engine out, you might as well just do it all, just overhaul it. What's the point in like half-assing it and just doing part of it and then get it back in the water, and then all of a sudden, boom, something goes wrong. That means you got to haul out again and haul the engine out again. So I'm just going to do everything that I can do on this engine while it's out. All right, y'all. Wow, look at the cam in there. That looks tidy. The block itself looks pretty tight. You know, it doesn't look that bad. It looks fresh in there. You know, it's just a matter of, oh, they've even marked the firing order too. So piston 2, I don't know if you can see that, piston 3. That's rad. Oh wow, dude, look at that. The block looks so clean and tidy. They've even marked the pistons so that you don't mess up the firing order. So that's 1 that's already down. 2, 3, and obviously it's only a 3-banger, so obviously we got to remember to mark those where for top dead center, which is going to be cool before I pull anything off. I think I'm just going to stop while I'm ahead today because you really need to prep this next step. Awesomeness. Something else that's cool, it all seems to turn so easy. Oh wow, the bores are nice and smooth, and they're so, you know, it's like almost a shame. Oh, you can hear compression too, listen. Oh yeah, that sounds nice. That sounds nice. Come back this way. Oh, compression stroke. Obviously, I'm going to definitely change the rings in it, but... Oh, yeah. Okay, there's a little bit of friction there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow. So the block is solid. That's awesome. Definitely check the bearings and see if any of that needs replacing. Not exactly ideal to be doing this inside the boat, but if it helps me to get the damn thing out of the boat, then let's do it.